Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Hit the bell icon button so that you don't miss out any tutorial.
What are media queries? Let's imagine a scenario to understand. Imagine that you and your family needs to go for a wedding. You all visit the family tailor. The tailor queries each of your family member about their style preferences and their measurements. Once he gets all of this information, he gets to work. You get a call in a week. Your suits are ready. Your family heads over. The tailor has made a unique looking suit for your mother, father, sibling, grandparents, and even your cooler than ice dog Jojo. Everyone starts to inspect this suit and they're amazed to notice how the tailor has managed to use their measurements and style preferences to customize the suit just according to their need. You all leave satisfied with the personal attention to detail and care. Now, this is my favorite analogy to use when I think about media queries. Simply because when you think about it, media queries are the tailors of web pages. Instead of your family members, media queries each web page about their style preferences and their measurements, and based on those measurements it applies required style preferences. Now that we've understood how a media query is like a tailor of web pages, let's see what is the syntax of writing a media query. So a media query has four main body parts. If you would have noticed, then you would see whenever I've used the name media query, I've written it as @media. And this is how we begin any media query with. It is called an rule. So remember to always write this first. Then we've got the media type. Media type describes the general category of a device. Third is media feature, and the media feature describes specific characteristics of the browser or a device. And lastly, we've got the logical operators, and they're essentially used to check multiple conditions before applying a required style. Now let's see what option does each of these parameters allow. When we write the @media keyword, browsers understand that this is the mark of starting a new media query, and this remains constant whenever we write a media query. So the first parameter will be the same. The second parameter we've got is the media type. Now, following our analogy, just like the tailor needs to know the gender and body type of the customer, our media query needs to understand the type of device the user is surfing our web page from. So when we are using media type, the general category of devices which are allowed are firstly screen. Now screen encompasses all types of screens. So you've got your desktops, laptops, tablets and mobile phones. The next is print, and this will allow us to see a different kind of style applied when we go into print preview and we're about to print a page. So you would want to use this to apply some breakpoints and apply some formatting that you think would look better on a printed page. The next one is speech. So this could be any type of screen reader or speech synthesizer or any text to speech program. So a famous example all of us would be knowing is the equipment and software Stephen Hawking used to use for his text to speech conversion. So that is speech, and the last one is all. So this would encompass all the types of media. The next parameter is media feature. The next parameter is media feature. Now media feature describes the physical characteristics of the browser or some characteristics of the device. So the examples that we could see, I'm not going to show you in an exhaustive list, but I'm going to show you the most commonly used ones, and I'm going to provide you a link where you can go and check out the whole exhaustive list of media features. So media features could be the browser width, checking the browser height, or the orientation of your phone, portrait or landscape, or the screen resolution. So these are the common ones that you're going to be using in practical ways, and you're going to be seeing it being used online. So the last parameter is logical operators, and logical operators are simply used to combine more queries together. So let's take an example of a media feature where we are checking the screen browser width and height. So we want the width to be 500 pixel and the height to be around 800 pixels. So it's a mobile phone. So what we would need to do, if we want to write a query which applies the style when both the queries are true, then we would use AND. If we want to check if either of those are true, then we will use OR. Usually media queries will return false if any of this if you're using and any of the condition turns out to be false, then the query will not execute. At such a time we can also use NOT, which negates the condition. It will make the opposite true. So if it gives false, then it will give true. And the last one is only. Only is used for old browsers so that they don't apply the media style sheets. So this is the syntax of a media query, and if we had to write an example following each parameter, then this is something how we would do it. We've got the constant @media keyword, then we've written for the media type all, logical operator is and the media feature we're checking the max width if it is 500 pixels. We could also do an alternative where we have written @media and then the media feature. This would also run, and if you have not mentioned the media type and logical operator, it defaults to all media types and the logical operator is AND. Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to be applying media queries in different kinds of variations. So as you can see, everything is as we left it off in the last video. Let me just show you the output and recap where we were last time. So we had written a media query with the 4 body parts. Now another thing is why I call this body parts is instead of parameters is because if you are entering into writing code, then just to become a little comfortable before you learn all the terminology, it's easier to remember. So 4 body parts or 4 parameters, right? So we've got that, and in the media feature we have written max width to be 500 pixels. So at this point, as soon as we hit 500 or more than 500, then the default styles are applied, the general styles in the style sheet. As soon as we reduce, as soon as it becomes less than 500 or 500, at that time the styles inside this are applied. So Now I wanted to focus for this video on min width and max width first, because trust me, this is one topic that everybody who does responsive design usually struggles with. I have struggled with myself. So if you are someone who is just starting out or who has done media queries for a while, this is going to be great for you so that you get an understanding of it really soon. And if you are somebody who is already a little confused about min and max width, don't worry, we're just going to clear it up right away. So the way I like to think about is in really simple terms. So maximum width 500. So this returns a boolean value, right? This will give us either true or false. If it is true, then it is going to go inside and then apply these styles. So here this is a condition. We're asking, is the maximum width 500 or less? So this will not allow anything above 500. This is the maximum width allowed. Is the width of the screen equal or lesser than what I allow? So 500. So we'll have a quick look. Yes, it is 500, which is equal. So it will apply these styles. Now, if it is a random 264, yes, it will apply. That's not a screen size, but let's go with 320. Yeah, it will apply this style. So when will this turn false? Obviously, as soon as we hit 501, this is going to be false because it is no longer equal or lesser than 500. Now, when we go to min width, hopefully, if you have understood how max width works, you'll be able to yourself understand how this works, right? So, let me just ask you, 501, we have applied min width to be 500. The minimum width should be equal to 500 or more. So when I hit reload, do you think these styles will get applied? Yes, they do. Because this is now saying allow any, the answer should be 500 or more than 500. That is the minimum that I allow. You need to be 500 or more to enter. And as soon as we go to 499, then as you can see, it takes the default values. So once again, really simple. Minimum width is saying I allow only the minimum to be 500 or more. This is the starting point. Minimum you need 500. Minimum you need any number that you specify. And in maximum, it's saying this is the maximum that is allowed. Minimum says this is the minimum from where it starts. Maximum saying this is till where it is allowed. So that is minimum and maximum width.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up and share it. Also check out amazing discounts and offers on our premium courses in the description below.